Today's question is, when is the right time to choose accounting software? And the answer is now. If you have not chosen accounting software, now is the right time. Let's dig into this. So you can start super easy with QuickBooks Online. Now, there's a ton of different accounting softwares out there. I only know about QuickBooks Online because that's the one that I used in the very beginning before I transitioned everything over to a bookkeeper, and I'm going to circle back to that. So here is what I found with QuickBooks Online. What's awesome about it is you can import all your bank statements into it, and they have essentially a swipe option where you just swipe through every expense and determine which category it goes into. Now, of course, you can set your categories up ahead of time. That's super important as well. But being able to have that swipe function makes things so fast. And the best part is QuickBooks Online will remember those transactions. So if you're anything like me and you use, you go to Office Depot for office supplies and you always order your paper from Amazon and, all those different things, QuickBooks Online is going to recognize that, and it will pop up and it will tell you what category it thinks that this should go into. And if it's correct, you swipe. So, and then pretty soon you can turn that on automatically. So if it recognizes that there's 16 Office Depot transactions in 1 month, then it would categorize all those into the office supply GL. So that can save you a ton of time and energy. Now, the system allowing you to download your bank statements is huge, because that's a lot of why people don't want to use accounting software, or they put it off until the last minute, is because it's cumbersome, it's too hard, it's annoying. But I will tell you that it is best to set aside time to do this every single month, maybe even every couple weeks. The reason why is if you wait till the very end of the year to go back and process transactions from January, you're not going to remember. And also, you might have missed an opportunity to get something refunded that shouldn't have been on your account. I remember there was one year where there was a transaction that I didn't recognize, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Well, it was someone that had stolen my debit card and bought a bunch of tennis shoes with it. Well, because I was able to catch that transaction, notify the bank that it was not me that had purchased all those tennis shoes, they were able to give me provisional credit. They were able to research it. They were able to determine that, yes, it was fraud. I was not in New York City buying tennis shoes when I was technically in Washington. So it's kind of amazing that when you do this process, there's so many other things that you can catch besides just organizing your bank accounts. It really is a lot more than that. So the hard part about waiting until the end of the year, like anything that you do, if you wait too long, you're not going to remember anything. And let's just be honest, you're not. You're not going to remember that Amazon transaction from January 15th if that was paper, pens, or potentially something that wasn't even purchased by your business. So that's something to keep in mind, is that when you are doing things, when you remember them. Now, keep in mind that this system is so easy, you could literally lay on the couch and swipe. Like, it is not difficult at all. So keep that in mind, is that if you have, if you're sitting at a stoplight or you're taking your kids to soccer practice, this is something that you could be doing while you're doing other things. So once you've got everything downloaded, it happens automatically and you can just go through and swipe those transactions. Now, one decision that I made early on, because I fell into the category of waiting until the end of the year to do everything because I was just so busy, but really it was because I really didn't want to do it. So let's just be honest. It's okay to be honest and say that you don't want to do it and find someone that can help you with this, because they're better at it. You're going to save time and money by hiring someone to do it because they're so much faster. I will tell you that it has saved me boatloads of money on my tax prep because my bookkeeper is actually located inside my accountant's office. Now, not every accountant has a bookkeeper, but mine, I'm fortunate enough that they are located in the same place as my accountant. And so that saves me time for them processing my tax returns. And also, if you have fallen into the bad habit of filing an extension for your tax return every year, did you know that that costs you money? Because back when I thought that everybody did that, that's just what you did when you owned a business. You file an extension, you file in October. Super bad habit to get into, and it costs you money. We don't want to be doing that. There's no reason to be doing that, because when you are organized, whether you're doing QuickBooks yourself or someone is helping you with it, that makes a huge difference in time savings. So what helped me make the decision was I reached out to my accountant and say, hey, listen, I need some help with this. I'm clearly not good at it. You're waiting forever for me to get back. I don't know, what this transaction, not only do I not know what it was, but I don't know what category it goes into. So I just put it in the miscellaneous GL, and then who's going to sort through the miscellaneous GL to figure out what all that stuff was that I put in there. So when I reached out to them and said, hey, listen, this is what I'm struggling with. I need help. Do you have any recommendations? It turned out that they had someone in their office, and that is where I found Bria, and she changed my life. She literally went through every single bank statement, and you guys know that I follow the Profit First methodology, so that's a ton of checking accounts. So she had a huge amount of work, and so she took that on. She does it for me every month. She does send me an email and says, hey, these are either new transactions or I don't recognize these. Where would those go? What's the best place to put them? And the only thing that I do for her is I download all my bank statements. On the first of every month, it's on my first of the month checklist, and I can share that with you in a later podcast. I have everything done by date of what I need to do on certain dates. So like the first, download the bank statements. I submit the compliance report on the first to my broker dealer. So I have a whole list of things that I do on the first. I have a list for the 10th, the 25th, and everywhere in between. So I'll share that with you in a future podcast. But essentially what I do is the afternoon of the first is when all the bank statements are available to me. I get an email from my bank that says that they're all available. So what I do is I download them all and I put them into an email and I send them over to Bria. She does everything like I mentioned. She'll send me an email if she has any questions, but pretty much she just sends me the report that says, based on whatever those numbers are, you have to pay X number of dollars for this month. So I do. It comes out of my checking account automatically. She just shoots me an email and says, hey, here's the dollar amount. Here's what's coming out as a heads up. So again, that has been a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, just like someone else taking care of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails that I get every day. So the recommendation that I can give to you that will change your life is the things that annoy you the most, the things that you hate the most. Those are the things you give away first. Those are the things that you find someone to help you with, so that way it's something that you're not dealing with. Give that to someone else, support someone else's small business, teach someone else how to do it, what you need. If you are not fortunate enough to have a bookkeeper inside your accountant's office, ask for a recommendation. If you don't have an accountant yet, come on, you've got to do that. They will save you so much time and money. It is crazy. And with everything changing with the tax laws, you need to have an accountant as part of your team. So you know that I give you quick actionable steps on this podcast. If you don't have an accountant, that's the first step. Go find one. Get recommendations from your fellow business owners, friends, neighbors, whoever that person is. Find someone that can help you and meet with them. Like physically meet with them, whether that's over Zoom nowadays or in person. Make sure you meet with them. Help them understand your business. Help them understand where you want to go in the future. Then ask them for a recommendation for a bookkeeper. If they don't have someone that they recommend, maybe there's somebody in their office they can give you. Whatever it is, find someone to help you with the things that you don't want to do. That is so important. If there's something that you are dreading every single week or every single month that you are doing, if numbers are not your thing, accounting's not your thing, that's the first thing you give away. So for sure, make your list. Write it down when you're like, oh, I hate doing this. This is absolute drudgery. Write it down so that way when you find someone that can take it off your plate, you can say, here you go. By the way, I've been doing QuickBooks Online. Here's all the files. So that way they can kind of see where you're at, the volume, how much money you're spending every month, how many checking accounts you have. That's important because if you follow the same line of thinking that I do, it's a ton of work. It is a ton of work, but it is worth it to me to pay the money to have someone else be more effective at it than I am.